Okay, Gary Dierenfeld here, and I am with someone who I admire, Neelam Dhalll. How are you?
I am great, and I admire you too. Thank you for saying that.
All right, so we got that mutual admiration thing society going on. I gave Neelam a Facebook message today saying, hey, let's do a video together. And she said, what are we going to talk about? And I said, I don't know, but I have come up with some things. First of all, for folks who don't know Neelam, she is a mediator extraordinaire, and her expertise extends to working with separating parents, helping them sort out, navigate how they're going to go through the separation process, sort out the care of the kids, and sort out the money. And so what triggered me to call you, Neelam, is I saw your most recent Facebook post where you did a live talking about RESPs. And, I don't mediate the financial stuff. And so I saw that, I thought, oh, son of a gun. So anyways, I have some questions for you. I'm already talking too much. How do you come up with your topics? Like what motive? Yeah, how do you come up with your topics?
Well, that's an interesting question. So a couple of things. Sometimes I just think through, what am I dealing with in my most recent clients? So what would be an interesting topic? Sometimes it's just, I'm very transparent. I live the divorce life. I get it, right?
Okay.
So sometimes I might draw on what am I experiencing in the moment and I think that, well, that's probably helpful to somebody. I'll go on. And I have to say my most favorite way of generating ideas is I have two gorgeous boys that I love. And literally I will sit in the car and go, hey, do you have any ideas for mom? What can I talk about? And I have this gorgeous boy who actually wrote a list for me of ideas he thought were interesting. And let me tell you,
amazing.
They were fantastic ideas. And so I actually have a list in my car, even a list that I drive him to dad's every now and then. And we're on our ride to dad's. I said, hey, got any ideas? Yeah, mom, here you go.
A couple of things that jump out at me with that. Number one, you draw from experience, both personally and professionally. And clearly you got a good connection with your kids and they understand what you do for a living such that they can actually contribute.
I love it. I was just talking about that today with somebody, actually, just the fact of, I don't come from an entrepreneurial family whatsoever. And me jumping from the corporate world into the entrepreneur life was scary for all of us, not just me, but even my parents. But they're like, in the beginning, are you going to get a real job?
Can you earn a living doing this?
Are you good? And I, over time, as we all learn in things that we're doing, I have decided to pull my kids into it because this is great. Like, it's just life learning, whether they end up in a corporate job or in their own entrepreneurial journey. At least they have all this added information that I didn't get the benefit of growing up. And so I just think it's nice to involve them where they can be involved. Obviously it has to be age appropriate and what can they actually get. I am blessed with two old souls, and I've kind of spoken to them from the get-go at my level, and
right.
Maybe that's part of it.
Here's another question for you.
Yeah.
Do you like doing what you do?
I love doing what I do.
Why?
I think anytime you go through something personally, I think it's almost a natural stepping stone into getting a passion from something. And for me, having gone through, quite frankly, it was a pretty awful divorce. And, I say I had the blessing of divorcing a lawyer.
Oh my goodness.
Correct. And that's how that went. And, I've always been sort of the peacemaker, and from the get-go would say, listen, I don't want to waste our money on legal expenses because in my view, especially being a frugal accountant, that is the kids' education money, and I'd rather it go to them. Unfortunately, he had a different perspective, and so we did go the court battle route, and it was quite negative, very expensive, very stressful. And eventually, it took us years through that. Eventually, we found mediation, which I didn't know anything about when I started my own process. And here we are in mediation in an afternoon. We get our entire parenting plan done. The same parenting plan I asked for years earlier.
A lot of people can relate to that, by the way.
Yeah. And I found that very frustrating. And so for me, that was my aha moment. And I said, you know what, this system is really broken. What can I do? And for me, that was going back to school. I was already a chartered accountant. And so I went back to school, got my accreditation as a family mediator, opened my practice. And now I never really had a passion for accounting. I was good at it, but it wasn't my passion. This is my passion. I've lived it. I get it.
And I think you're a people person.
Yeah, and I always say I'm kind of a walking anomaly. I'm not like a typical bean counter, as some people might have a spin on that. But I love this part because it makes me happy to see people get through it better than I did. It just makes me happy.
And we're going to stop there. It just makes me happy. Neelam, I think that is absolutely fantastic. And I want my viewers from my Facebook page, YouTube, and whatnot to look you up. So to look you up, what's your website?
So my company is called Simple Solutions Mediation, so www.simplesolutionsmediation.ca, and all of my social media handles are located on that website as well. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn.
And I do encourage people to follow you on Facebook because you really post helpful tips, a lot of videos where you speak to these, today it was RESPs. You speak to these very important financial issues. Thank you. Thank you for coming on with me today.
Thank you so much, Gary. I really appreciate it.
Take care.
You too.